Hello, this is Dave at TitleSearch.com, and today we're going to talk specifically to our investor clients who are buying properties through foreclosure or tax auctions about the right of redemption. In many states and many counties, depending on the type of transaction on a distressed property, there may be a provision for the prior debtor to redeem that property, meaning that they can come back and pay up and get caught up on their bills and get the property back. So if you're an investor and you buy a property at auction, you may find that a month or two goes by and that prior owner can show up with the money, of course, with interest and penalties attached to it, and get the property back. That means that if you do work on the property, if you try to sell it, if you make improvements or repairs, that money may go out the window. So be aware, if you're an investor, of any rights of redemption that may exist in the state laws or the statutes that might affect that property. It's more common on tax sales than it is on bank foreclosures, but any property that's transferred by a sheriff's deed may have some right of redemption attached to it by state law or statute. This is something that will not be mentioned on the recorded deed. It will not be mentioned normally in the terms and conditions of the auction. It's something you have to be aware of in that jurisdictions. Like I said, there's usually a provision for interest and penalties. So if you buy that property for a certain amount of money and a month or two goes by and the prior debtor redeems, you probably will get more than what you paid for it, but that will not include any improvements you make, any time value of the money, or any repairs you make to the property. That's going to go to the next owner. If you're a third party buyer of a distressed or foreclosed property, you need to be aware of this, because the party that you are buying it from might have gotten it from an auction. You're not even aware that this is an auction property. You're just buying it from a private individual. If that right of redemption period has not expired, you still could be liable for having that property snatched away from you. This is very common with kind of less expensive raw land type properties. There's some investors that go out and buy up lots of tax liens on properties for a few $100s each, and may turn around and flip these properties on eBay or Craigslist or some other venue, not being aware that those property owners can come back and redeem that property. So the buyer on eBay, the buyer on Craigslist might find that their investment in that property is at risk if that party comes back and buys up the property. They may get a small amount of interest or penalties, but that's going to be about it. So be aware, if you're an investor, of these right of redemption statutes, to make sure that the property you're buying has no risk of being bought out from under you by a prior owner debtor who comes up with the money finally for their past due payments. If you have other questions, you can reach us at TitleSearch.com. We have a specific division that handles investor clients for foreclosures and tax liens, and we can forward you to the right department.